Good morning, coaches. This is your wake-up call. Today is Monday, January 11th. Here's today's host, Executive Vice President of Global Sales, Jeff Hill.
Sandy, that title's too long when you have to take a breath in the middle of it. So maybe just Jeff Hill works from now on. But anyway, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate the pregame excitement and enthusiasm that we've created. Coaches, welcome back from Super Saturday. As Sandy mentioned earlier, from all accounts, we had record numbers, incredible numbers. As I've gotten feedback from our regional sales director team that went out to all of these different teams, they just came back and said it's amazing how good these leaders are, these market councils, these teams that have put together these remarkable Super Saturdays, training, recognition, success stories around transformations. So anyway, those that went, I think you get a sense of why we say so important to attend these. Attendance at these kind of meetings are drivers or motivators. I think of them, you remember the good old Hot Wheels, hopefully you do. There used to be this little thing in there, those little battery wheels that would spin really, really fast, and as the car would go around, it'd start to slow, and then it'd hit these wheels, and it would accelerate them and just fire them out of these wheels. And to me, that's what these events are all about. That's what Super Saturdays are all about. Is you might be slowing a little bit, you hit that thing, man, and it shoots you out with more vision, enthusiasm, power. So make that count. The trick now, though, is taking what you learned, what you felt, and transitioning and transforming that into actionable results. And that's really what it's all about in order to create the dreams and to achieve the things that you want in your life. So anyway, we've got a phenomenal call. Of course, we're featuring Melanie Mitchell, two-time top coach. I'll do a big introduction of her in a minute here, but we're excited, and she's going to share some great insights as well. But as we jump in, three things you need to know. Sandy already mentioned it. Cafe Latte launches today. It will be in the TBB store by the end of the day. FAQs 9685 will tell you everything you want to know. This is a great flavor. It won't surprise me if it rivals. I mean, I love chocolate, but that it won't rival that. It has just got tremendous flavor. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I've tasted it and I kind of like it. So it's phenomenal. Second thing you need to know is for Success Club this month, of course, we announced that we are going to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, as our 2017 Success Club trip. 2 waves, the teal, the coral wave, trying to expand and make as much opportunity for as many coaches as possible. And Success Club points are the way to earn trip dollars. And during the month of January, you can earn double dollars through your Success Club points. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Make sure you get ready for registration. Today is the first is the window for some of our 5-star and above, for our elite coaches, and then there's a stage opening until next week. It's the general registration. So make sure that you're ready for that. Also, fun thing, for all those that achieve Success Club 5 and above, this month, we have Jen Sincero, who will be doing a I'm like Sandy, can't talk today, personal development webcast. She is the author of You Are Bad, How to Start Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And so Achieve Success Club 5, you'll be able to participate in that in the month of February. And then, of course, every month we have some phenomenal challenge packs that allow you to go out and share with people, to get results, to open up challenge groups so people are in the right environment to experience who we are, what we are, and to see real results and to see how our programs work with nutrition, fitness, peer support, and the recognition that you can provide them. That is the sweet spot. And we've got Master's Hammer and Chisel. We have 21-Day Fix. We have 21-Day Fix Extreme. We have the 3-Day Refresh. Those are all available to you this month as discounted offerings. I don't even like that word, discounted, because these are just great. We should never discount them. They have such tremendous value, but we do, so it makes it more attractive. So take advantage of those this month. So, coaches, those are the things you need to know. This business keeps moving, and I'm going to toss it over to Darren Ashby to share who has advanced their business in this past week. Darren.
Good morning, Jeff, and welcome back from Super Saturday, and good morning, coaches. Well, this week couldn't have been any bigger with the announcements of the 2015 Elite, 2015 Elite 10, Premier, and our top coach, Melanie Mitchell. And we had the surge and, of course, all the great stuff at Super Saturdays. Well, here's just a little more great stuff with our newest ranks for the week, starting with our new Star Diamond coaches. Congratulations to Gianna Argon, Laura Dalpini, Keisha Embry, Julie Jarvis, Aaron Greenbaum-Musock, Kate Norsworthy, Brandy Pope. From Canada, Emily Power, Kristen Renner, Melissa Rowe, Ryan Shree, Lori Schusterik, Jen Stevens, Joy Strickland, Christy Stump, Elizabeth Trzaska, Stephanie View, and Megan Ziegler. New 2-star diamonds this week, Courtney Oringo, Megan Bishop-Greb, Stephen Ferris, Eleni Rock, and Jennifer Zalzmer-Terry. And our newest 3-star diamonds, Courtney Huber-Rodriguez, Victoria Lemke. From Canada, Tiffany McFadyen and Monica Chirales. New 5-star diamond this week, congratulations, Jill Anzalone. New 7-star diamonds, we had 4 of them this week, Tanya Barron, Michelle Phillips, Melissa Pipitone, and Christy Williams. Congratulations, guys. All right, moving on to the daily Beachbody Challenge winners for December 28th through the 31st. Each of these coaches won $500. Congratulations, Donald Wendt, Mandy St. Germain, Justin Stoneker, and Whitney Shirtliff. Top Success Club point earners for the week, Sarah Brett, Jen Wall, Cheyenne Tracy, Bonnie Engel, Susie McKee, Rosa Friesen, Genevieve Leclerc, Veronique Tremblay, Brianna Josephson-Bald, and Don Fawcett Jr. Top recruiters, Caroline Nathan, Bonnie Engel, Don Fawcett Jr., Rosa Friesen, and Jen Wall. And finally, our top challenge pack sales for the week, Lelaine Hagler, Sarah Brett, Brianna Josephson-Bald, Rosa Friesen, Bonnie Engel, Cheyenne Tracy, Sarah Beasley, Genevieve Leclerc, Veronique Tremblay, Jamie Fitzpatrick, and Don Fawcett Jr. All right, coaches, there you have it for this week. Congratulations once again to everyone on the call today, and a special shout-out to all our new Premier coaches, our new 2015 Elite and Elite 10. That would be top coach Melanie Mitchell, Amy Silverman, Megan Ewaldson, Lindsay Matway, Bonnie Engel, Anita Myron, Raina Odell, Alyssa Shoemaker, Melissa McAllister, and Brittany Powers. Congratulations, you guys. Wishing you all a very fantastic week. All right, back to you, Jeff.
Darren, good job. Thanks for giving a shout-out to those Elite 10 coaches. Pretty incredible. And, one of the things that's also pretty incredible, we posted on the wall, and we'll need to make this a little bit more formal, but are those coaches that have hit Elite Coach multiple times, and, since the beginning of the program. And I could go through the long list, but I'm going to just shout out 2 right now and then jump over to our featured speaker. But Superstar 2, Christine Dwyer, and 11-star Diamond Coach Barbie Kalev have achieved Elite status 7 consecutive years, and that's also a pretty remarkable feat. So just a quick shout-out to those guys. Then there's some that have 6 and 5, and we'll make that a little bit better known, but some pretty powerful stuff. Well, talking about repeat, we are absolutely thrilled today to have on the call with us 2-time, not only Elite 10 coach, but top coach of the year. Melanie joined Beachbody back in 2011, July of 2011. She is currently a Superstar Diamond 3 coach. That means 15-star Diamond coach in 3 different business centers. She's a member of our Coach Advisory Board. She's a member of the Millionaire Club. Get this. You can see why she is where she is. She has personally enrolled 366 coaches in 2015 alone. That put her at a number 2 spot for top recruiter in 2015. Get this one. It's just not about sponsoring people into the business, just attracting people into the business. It's about what you do with those people, taking them and developing them into leadership roles. She has 79 personally sponsored lifetime diamonds. She rank advanced 49 diamonds in 2015. and she has 52 consecutive months in Success Club, which, of course, makes her a Success Club 10 All-Star legend. And legendary she is that. We're thrilled to have from Mars, Pennsylvania, Superstar Diamond 3 coach and repeat two-time top coach of the year, Melanie Mitchell. Melanie.
Jeff Hill, hello.
That just about exhausted me going through all those stats. That's like, wow.
It's hard. It's incredible to be on the other end listening to somebody talking and saying, oh, that's actually me. It's just incredible to stand back because I'm just so in it on a day-to-day basis. I don't realize that all happened.
Yeah, but you and I were talking. Obviously, it has all happened, and our team always does a real nice job of condensing those stats so we can get through them quickly. But beyond each one of those stats, there's a great story. But as we were talking before this call, it was like you said. What I want people to know is like you just aren't born here. On January, 11th, and all those stats just happened. It's this thing that happened over these 4.5 years, bit by bit, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So why don't you just, because there are so many new coaches on the line, why don't you just quickly give them just a snippet of how did you get into the business? What were you searching for? Why did Beachbody come into your life in the first place?
Sure. Okay, so it was July of 2011 when I signed up to be a coach, but my journey with Team Beachbody actually started in May. And I actually first found Beachbody, I actually posted on Facebook after I had Bryce in January, who is my youngest of 2 boys, and I was really struggling to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight, to really find myself. And so I made a post on Facebook about eating celery and trying to lose weight. And so the wife of my husband's good friend from high school actually reached out to me and invited me to join her challenge group. So I had never heard of challenge groups before this. I really didn't know of Team Beachbody. I knew of P90X. I had heard of Insanity, but nothing more than that. So she reached out, and she invited me to be in the Summer Slim Down Challenge Group, which I actually think was the very first challenge group that was ever ran. And I accepted. I actually borrowed Insanity from a neighbor that lived down the street. I cleared out a space in our storage room in our basement of our townhouse, and I took my laptop to the basement every afternoon when I would put the boys down for a nap, and I would do Insanity. And so my journey, my first experience really was in a challenge group, and I had no idea what network marketing was. I had no idea how the business worked. I was just a challenger in a challenge group, and I was from the minute I was in that group, I just loved everything about the challenge group, the support. I just thrived in that kind of environment where there was other women that I identified with, that I related to, going through the exact same thing that I was going through personally, and I connected, and I loved it. I found myself checking into that challenge group 3, 4, 5 times a day because I was so motivated by seeing their workout pictures and their sweaty selfies and all the recipes they were sharing. And so this is really where I learned about how important nutrition is for your body. This is where I tried Shakeology for the first time, and this is what led to me losing 30 pounds with Insanity and P90X and really sort of embracing this healthy lifestyle. I never have ever joined a gym, and I was that girl that joined in January and was nowhere to be found by January 31st. I thought that eating healthy was low-fat, fat-free, Diet Pepsi. So I was really learning a whole new way of life. And so after about 60 days of being a challenger, my coach actually sent me the business opportunity, a little 7-minute presentation, and said this was my assignment for the week. And she had sent it to all of the challengers in the group, was to watch this business opportunity call. And so I remember sitting on my couch watching this webinar, this little 7-minute clip, thinking, I think I could really do this. And I started to think about, the opportunity of leading other people the same way that I did. And so I actually brought it up to my husband, Matt, and he was absolutely hands down 100% against me doing this business. He actually said that it was a ripoff, it was a scam, it wouldn't work, and that if I wanted to get a job, we could put the kids in daycare and I could go back to work. So it was pretty much a no-go at that point, but Nikki kept inviting me. She actually met me at Starbucks. She brought me a little packet. She kept talking to me about how good I would be at coaching and that I was already doing a lot of the behaviors that a coach did in the challenge group. And it was in the back of my mind. I just kept thinking about it. And it was in July, and I actually took the money that my family had given me for my birthday, and I signed up to be a coach. At that time, there weren't challenge packs. You couldn't sign up with the $40 coach fee waived, so I paid the $40. I got a bag of Shakeology, and I became a Beachbody coach. So here I was on day one in July as a brand new coach, and I actually didn't tell Matt that I signed up until about a week later. So that is how I got started with Beachbody. That sort of brings me to day one of my business.
Wow, and Matt is still mad about that. He has never let go of that moment, has he, when he found out that you were a coach?
Yeah, we talk about it often, and I'm a strong-willed person, so it's a good thing that I stuck to my guns and I didn't listen to him, right?
Didn't you say you took some birthday money and got started with that? Is that correct?
It is correct. We actually made a lot of sacrifices. I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so we decided that I was going to quit my job. We were going to be a one-family income, and that really meant there was just no fluff. And so, honestly, we did not have the money to even buy Shakeology because that had to come from somewhere else. And so I took money that I was given for my birthday to invest in signing up as a coach.
Yeah. So, coaches, if we were to end the call right now and you were to say what are some of the similarities between Melanie's story and perhaps where you are right now, my guess is you could say you've been shaking your head and going, yeah, that's my reality, that's my reality, that's my reality. But I think what Mel's just shared is these pieces that say, okay, that this is it, but so now what do you do with it? How do you push through some of those things? So Melanie started this business just like you guys did. So, Melanie, right, we're 4.5 years down the road. You've accomplished a lot. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But when you started the business, again, to the fact that we've got newer coaches, how did you start? What did you focus on to be effective kind of out of the chutes? Sure.
So, 4.5 years ago, there wasn't a Coach Basics yet. We just had the Coach Online office. If I can just kind of paint the picture, stay-at-home mom, a 2-year-old, a 6-month-old. I was responsible for all of the duties of cleaning, of cooking, keeping the kids, content throughout the day. I was still very much in my transformation, so I was about halfway through. I had less than 100 friends on Facebook, so I really had no social media presence at all. I had no idea what I was doing. So when I started as a coach, the number one thing in the back of my mind was still I'm not content with where I am physically. So the first thing I did was continue to do my daily workouts. I was committed to P90X at the time. I did the entire 90 days of workouts exactly as it was laid out. I was that girl that hung the calendar on the wall and X'd out each day. I drank my Shakeology every day. I followed the nutrition plan because all I could think about was that if I wanted to create this credibility, I had to continue to share my personal journey. So I couldn't put that on the back burner to learn the business. I had to figure out how to manage them both. So I really started by focusing on my personal transformation, but then sharing that on social media. So I started to embrace the 3 vital behaviors. So my coach told me I needed to post 3 to 5 times a day. I needed to add new people to my contact list every day. I needed to follow up. I needed to start a challenge group. I needed to do personal development. And I, like clockwork, printed out that business activity tracker, and every single morning I would get up at 5 a.m. When that alarm would go off, I would say to myself, I am willing to do what other people are not willing to do because in 3 years from now, I want what other people wish that they could have. And I got that from the first personal development book I read, which was not the Compound Effect. It was A Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And I read that book, and that was a game changer for me. And I started to think about my day in the sense that everything I did was either bringing me closer to what I wanted or farther away. And so I just began messaging people, and I set a date for my first challenge group. I began to invite people. I would watch every single, the video library in the Coach Online office. I watched every single video because I didn't know what all the other fitness programs were, and so I just started researching. When the kids were taking a nap or when they would go to bed, I was just engrossed in being a student. I didn't know how to talk about Shakeology. I didn't know the difference between that and a protein shake, right? I had never done any type of meal replacement before. So I felt like if I wanted to speak confidently about it, I had to educate myself. So I have an entire notebook full of notes on every single fitness program, on Shakeology. I jumped right in. I set a start date for my first challenge group. I started posting on Facebook. I started inviting other people. And all I could think about in the back of my mind was that if I proved that it worked, other people would trust me. If I showed up every single day and I added value on social media to other people's life, like I didn't just create posts that were fluffy and cute, but I really was teaching people how to make a lifestyle change, whether it was through recipes or a motivational quote or just tips for how I was making it with 2 small children, then I felt like I was doing my job. And that's exactly how it worked for me. It was this momentum of I would run into people at the grocery store and they would say, Melanie, I've been following you, or, I've been reading your blog posts, or I cook with your blog up every day because you have such great recipes. And that was the beginning for me. That was really the first few signs that, okay, I'm making a difference. And so I would definitely say it was the personal development, being a product of the product, and doing the 3 vital behaviors were the things that I did in that first 6 months that really helped me get a solid foundation for my business. The other thing, too, is I didn't just run 1 challenge group a month. I ran 2 groups a month. And I did 1 group a month that was all focused on Shakeology and clean eating. And the second group incorporated Shakeology and a fitness program because I didn't want to leave anybody out. I wanted to give people options. If they were gym goers or they did some other form of exercise, I wanted them to know that I would still be there to support them. And so I ran 2 groups every single month so that I would always hit Success Club no matter what.
So as I listen to that, I go, it's absolutely incredible you were able to accomplish or to discipline yourself to do all of those things, because you're a mom of 2, you're a spouse. I'm assuming you have dirty laundry and kids to school and shopping and everything else, right?
Right, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, the first 12 to 18 months, I had a very dirty house and I had some extra laundry piled up in the corners. I definitely sacrificed some sleep along the way in order to build my business, but it was absolutely worth every single decision I made, and I really had to embrace time management and always ask myself if I was working in the most productive mode. Was I wasting time, or was I doing things that were value added in my business? So I really had to embrace that because I was not good at managing my time at first when I was a new coach.
As you look back, if you can remember back that far, it sounds like you can, Melanie, to say, hey, if I had a do-over on this, or as I watch my new coaches now get started in their first 6 months, here's a common mistake I saw myself do and oftentimes newer coaches fall into. That if I could just say, no, don't go there. Is there that kind of a bucket that you would say, something you could identify? There's
a couple of things. So I think about time management. There's a couple of things that new coaches, I see them do all the time, is they just sit at the computer and they don't know what to post, so they just scroll and they scroll the news feed or they scroll on Pinterest looking for ideas, and they don't have a plan when they sit down to the computer. And so for me, I would wake up in the morning, work out, run straight to the computer because I never knew how much time I had before the boys would wake up. And so I found myself wasting a half hour, and then sometimes they would wake up and I'd say, oh my gosh, I worked my business for 30 minutes, but I didn't do anything that was actually going to earn me points or it was going to get me closer to helping people. And so I always sit down at the computer with a plan, whether I make my to-do list the night before or in the morning before I open my computer. I will sit down and I will have a list of the most important things that I need to accomplish that day. And so that when that computer screen, when I open the lid to my laptop, I know exactly where I'm going. And I now have gotten to the point where I use scrolling through the news feed as like my reward for getting all my work done. So if you want to just see what everybody's up to, you got to get your invites done first. You got to add people to your contact list. You got to check your messages and then save that stuff for later. So I feel like that was really important. The other thing that I see coaches doing is they become collectors of information. So they do all of this training. They go through Coach Basics. They watch all the videos and they take these copious notes, but they never take action. They just become collectors of information because they're so afraid that they might fail that they never step out. And so the one thing I always say to coaches, I'm like, just try. Just go out there and invite. Just use the knowledge that you have and be willing to fail, because that's where growth really happens, is when you try. Somebody tells you no, somebody ignores you, you learn a different way of saying it. And then once you practice over and over and over, you get into a routine where you just know the right thing to say at the right time because you've just been doing it for so long that it becomes second nature. So those are some of the things that I think are most important for new coaches. Hopefully that they don't make those mistakes. They'll have more success faster.
Yeah. My guess, Mel, is in the 366 coaches that you personally sponsored in 2015, there were probably 3,666 that said no. But in the process, you learned, that's illustrative. But my guess is that with each one of those, you continue to learn and grow, and many of those come back. So we say 366, and it sounds like every one's a success, but that's not the case.
Right, it's not the case. And if you think about out of every 10 people you invite, 1 or 2 is going to say yes. And I look at my coaches the same way. I think out of every 10 coaches I sign up, there's only a handful. There's only a small percentage that are really going to go out there and are just really going to do it, that are going to be able to put those fears aside. And so I give everybody the same opportunity, the same amount of my time, and the ones that are going to fly, and they're going to thrive. And it's okay if it's not meant for them, and I totally respect that. But the ones that fly, they fly.
Yeah. So you're a high-energy, motivated, disciplined, bright individual. But my guess also is there's times when you go, man, this is I'm a little discouraged, or I'm just not feeling it today. What do you do to kind of pick yourself up and say, okay, I got to get my head back in the game? How do you get motivate yourself?
Mm-hmm. And there's been many of times where I feel that way. So especially in December, as I was reflecting on 2015 and I was setting my goals for this year, I found myself sort of in like a slump. Like I didn't really know where I wanted to go, or I didn't really know what was next. What's next for me? How can I top this past year? How can I be better as a leader? And so when I find myself less than motivated, I'll take a step back and I'll read. And sometimes it might not even be the book that I'm currently reading. I will pick up something in my library that I've collected that speaks to me that day. Or I'll go out there on YouTube and I'll search for something that I'm struggling with, whether it's a confidence thing or it's a vision thing. Whatever is going on, I will find personal development. I'll go to the speakers that I'm motivated by, and I'll dig into that. I'll shut off my computer. I'll shut off Facebook. I'll shut off my phone, and I'll just spend time being quiet and really thinking about and reflecting on myself. I've done things where I sit down with a blank sheet of paper and I've listed out, what are all the things that we've accomplished. Instead of focusing on the things that maybe we fall short on or the biggest obstacles in our businesses right now, I start to look at, okay, what did I actually accomplish this year? And what are the things that went really well? What are the things that I'm proud of? And when I started focusing on those, I was able to sort of pull myself out of any little, difficult situation that I was having, and I combined that with my workouts. My workouts are my stress relief. And when I work out, it's like an instant mood booster to me. I feel better. I'm ready to take on the day. It just stimulates that creative vibe for me, and I'm ready to go. But I'm not immune to having those moments of self-doubt. I just choose to be optimistic. I choose to be forward-thinking. I look at an obstacle or a roadblock in my business as an opportunity to grow and to become a better leader. Because if I didn't have these moments, I would get complacent, I would get stale, and I wouldn't grow. So I have the ability to sort of look at it not as a sign that I'm not supposed to continue, but that, hey, this is going to challenge me, and in the end, I'm going to be a better person because of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it brings the real piece, as you were saying, kind of what you look at. I mean, I love the idea. Sometimes the complacency, when you start to feel that way. I've had this conversation with Carl too. Sometimes when you start to feel that way, that just means, and that's the time to dig in, the time to reinvent, the time to recreate. That's kind of one of those. I think that's your body, your mind saying, "Hey, I've got more to offer. I need new growth in my body." That's really your mind's crying out for something there. As you look at we talk a lot about the 3 vital behaviors, Mel. From a new coach perspective, I mean, all the people on this call are going to go, "Wow, incredible call, lots of information." But if you were to net it down and maybe connect the 3 vital behaviors to that, how do they come into play? Is it just happy words that we throw out there, or are they meaningful in the business?
So the 3 vital behaviors are the most important thing you can do in this business, over and above social media, over and above seeing coaches creating YouTube videos or anything else that we do, all that other stuff that you see. And I teach this at every level of the business, whether you're a brand new coach or you're a star diamond, it is the 3 vital behaviors. And even where I'm at right now, I still do the 3 vital behaviors. They don't necessarily take me as much time because it's become a routine for me. It's something I've practiced so much that I just wake up and it's just a part of who I am. But in order to continue to bring new people into your business, in order for you to lead by example to the new people that you bring in as coaches, you have to continue to do the 3 vital behaviors, or you do just become complacent. Your business sort of comes to a halt. And so I will say that it is interjected into every training, every team call, everything that I do personally and for my team rises and falls on the 3 vital behaviors. And if a coach asks me or comes to me and says, "I'm really struggling in my business," that's the first thing I will ask them. Are you tracking? And are you inviting daily? Are you posting? I will go through those activities first, because before you can move to the next stage of the game, you've got to master the basics first.
Fantastic. 2 last questions. We're just about out of time here, Mel. The first is, again, to all the new coaches on this call, it's the beginning of a new year. If you were to say, if you do this in your business, I am highly confident or can almost promise you that this will be the outcome of your business. This is something I can say with great certainty, because I found that new coaches, the questions they ask is, do I want to do it? Can I do it? And then how do I do it? But I think a lot of coaches may be saying is, will it be worth it to me as well? What can you say to them? If you do this, I'm highly confident this can happen in your business.
Oh, man, that's a tricky one. So, okay, let me think about this. So I would say, hands down, for any coach that's sitting on this call, that if you want to make 2016 your best year ever, you have to believe without a shadow of a doubt that you are meant for greatness. You have to believe with every bone in your body that somehow, some way, you are going to make this business a success. And whatever you define success as being, you are going to do it. Because when you believe in yourself and you can envision the success, you can see what it looks like, even if you're not sure what each milestone is going to look like, but you know you're going to get there, you will get there. The 3 vital behaviors will happen. You will attract the right people to you. The right people will come into your life because you are this positive force of optimism that people may try to stiff-arm you at first and say, I don't want to be a part of whatever you're doing, but eventually they can't help themselves but to be drawn in by your energy and your magnetism because you are on fire. And I see that in the top coaches in the company. They truly just attract great people because they believe in themselves, they're on fire, and they're moving in that direction, and the people are coming to them because of it. And, of course, they're doing the 3 vital behaviors, but all of those things, but it's just that they believe that they're going to get there and they're willing to learn and be a student every single step of the way.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece. It was interesting. I was in San Diego for my for Super Saturday with Raina Odell, and it's interesting sometimes how themes emerge. But one of the themes that emerged there was, again, this concept: make a commitment to be here a year from now, and that kind of commitment opens up the door to what you're saying is that if I'm going to be here a year from now, I've got to fill this year with belief and with these other activities so that you can make a difference, so that you have a runway to accomplish those pieces. Okay, last question. This is kind of a layup for you, but so 4.5 years ago, Matt wasn't such a believer. You were just loving the challenge groups and the nutrition and that kind of a piece. How has life changed?
Life has changed in so many ways, and there are just some days that Matt and I look at each other and we say, is this really our life? This really happened to us? 4 years ago, we were definitely living paycheck to paycheck. I would call Matt and say, can I go grocery shopping today? Is there enough money in the bank account, or did we get paid yet? And we weren't taking vacations. We had given up sort of any extras just so that we could be a family. And over the past 4 years, we went from a single-family income where Matt was the provider to a single-family income where I'm the provider, which is sometimes strange to say out loud. I think people look at us weird sometimes when we say that. But this business has given our family an opportunity to live comfortably, where our number one argument as a couple was finances and money and what we were spending money on, and now that's not a question. We have been able to provide both of our children with a college education for their future. We have no debt at all. We actually just bought our dream home. We're going to be moving here. We're staying in Mars, but we're moving here in actually just in a couple of weeks. And we have been given the opportunity to meet some of the most incredible, positive, uplifting people. And Matt and I we are a stronger couple. We are a great team, and we love life and everything about this experience. There have definitely been times that it has been hard, it's been trying, but we would not change it for the world. It is worth every single sacrifice, every single thing we've done along this way has been worth it, and we're just truly blessed by this opportunity.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for just spending the time this morning. And, of course, it's not just this morning. You're going to be at the NLC, our new leadership conference, sharing some of your great insights. We call on you to do many calls and summit and leadership, and you have your own team that you're responsible for. So you certainly give back, and you've never hesitated in being abundant with your thinking and with your insights, and it's kind of like no secrets here. I've been blessed. Let me share what I know with others, and so you've been just a great example of kind of that, honestly, that ordinary person doing extraordinary things and becoming extraordinary through who you are and what you've accomplished. So I can just say congratulations on your repeat, on your 2-time top 10 elite coach, everything that you've done. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the call today, too.
All right. Well, listen, go take care of yourself, and with the move coming, I imagine boxes are showing up on the doorstep. So you're starting to think about that. But thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
All righty. Bye-bye. Well, coaches, you got it. As Melanie said, you can be collectors of information. You can take copious notes, and have them scribbled on the back of your palms, on your forehead, on your tablets, wherever it might be. But it just don't matter. Good English, right? Unless you do something with that. And you've got all the tools. We went through all of the challenge packs. We've got Masters and Hammer Chisel the challenge right now. And there is opportunity on the left and on the right to make this work if you will work. So take what you have. Use Mel as an incredible example of someone who is just like you that can do extraordinary things. Now it's time to go out and do it. So, again, great call with Mel and Sandy. I'll throw it back over to you.
Thank you so much. And if you know someone who missed this call, and a lot of times many of you are trying to get into the call at the exact same time, which makes it seem full, but when you call back in, it's not as full. But there is a replay that I'm going to put up in about half an hour. That number is 832-225-5065. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.